Hey everybody, so Lisa from Tarot Alchemist just did a really, I think, fantastic spread that has a lot of potential for healing for women, and it is about the experiences they had surrounding their menarche. So menarche is the first menses. Okay, so she has a 6-card spread here, and I had to stop and really think which deck would exemplify that time in my life, and truthfully, I had to use the Royal Dark Tarot. Now, let me just explain. I was not dark, but the situation I was in was very dark. My young years were, very difficult, but if you know this deck, you'll know that it's the women in the deck that are the light in these situations. They are bringing their own strength and healing to these very difficult times. So the first question is my first period experience. And the card that came up for me was the Ten of Swords. So for me, I was cut down so quickly and dramatically before I even knew what was going on. And I'll tell you what happened was, my mother, who was typically just angry, she was yelling, and she got a box of tampons and she threw it at me and she said, "Read the directions," and then she walked away. And that was my initiation into womanhood. So I was a little bit, stunned, I guess, a little shocked, and of course I felt isolated. I felt embarrassed, but also you have to realize by that time I was quite used to her behavior. So there was a little part of me that was able to detach enough to know that inside I was very different than her. And that gave me a little strength, really, to get through some of the darkness. Okay, the second question. The message I received. Okay, now what I got here is the Knave of Chalices. But let's really take a look at the image here. So we have a woman who is surrounded by a lot of dark energy and dark forces. So the unconscious message that I was receiving was that love and fear are intertwined. And it took me years and a lot of work to unwind those two. It also gave me the message of a need for secrecy of anything that I wanted to express, whether it was my the path of faith I wanted to explore as a young woman. Any creativity. I used to write. I used to do, I used to like to paint and draw, and all that had to be hidden. And the other message that was coming through about secrecy was that, even at that time when I was young, my father was approaching me in a sexual way. And, the whole family, even my brother, there was so many issues. So there was a lot of difficulty, and that, again, that brought about secrecy and a feeling that there is no safety and that love is not safe. So that is clearly, I feel, what I'm seeing here for this card. Okay, now the next question. The message I needed to receive and didn't. Now what came up here is the 8 of Chalices. So in this picture you see, to me this says that there is a woman who is knowing her beauty. She's standing in truth and beauty, and that the future lays before her abundantly, and she can do what she wants. She can be herself, be what it is who she really is. That is the message that I think we all want to receive. Certainly that would have been great for me. Okay, the next question. In the 4th position, the support I needed. And what the card that came here is the Four of Swords. So the support I needed was a peaceful home. I needed to know that communication could be gentle and that there could be balance. Now, I did try to give this to myself through reading and through music. I journeyed a lot with music, and I often was attracted to music that was sort of before my time. Music that was just seemed deep and intricate, and it helped me so much. Okay, so the next question 5 is, how did I feel and how did it affect me moving forward? Now here I have the Six of Chalices. So it affected me in a couple of ways. First, I think that it influenced me to relate to life in a more of an intellectual way. Okay, and not to express my heart. And it made it a little hard to really connect my heart to other people in a way, because it was more about how I can express intellectually and what I can learn. And even as I look back on my tarot journey, and in the beginning of that journey when I started primarily using the alchemical tarot, and it was just a feast for my intellect to learn all of these different symbols and what this meant and what that meant. And then I was able to see them, and still can, in almost every movie, TV show, magazine, anything. These symbols and the esoteric meanings, and these things are all around us. However, that doesn't necessarily help you express your heart. So I could see where even my tarot journey has changed and shifted as I'm moving more into my heart. The other thing that affected me is that it has to do with memories, and I really don't like looking back on memories. Now, in my apartment, I have a few prints and paintings and things, but I have no photos of people. I don't like hanging photos. I just think it ties into sort of that idea of memory. I don't want to look back on photos. And I'm going to tell you, one time my mother gave me a small photo album of myself and my brother, like as little babies and children, and I gave it to my friend to keep. I wanted to throw it away. My friend wouldn't let me. I don't want to look at that. I don't want the memories. I sort of block them, but they're still there. So, Six of Cups. Now, okay, in the last place here, the sixth card is, how can I heal myself to wholeness now? And the card that came up is the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Chalices. So, that is a very healing card. And to me, it speaks about allowing the healing in, expressing my, the depth of who I am, expressing love, connecting with others, expressing my spiritual path when appropriate. And here, and standing in my truth. You can see her left breast is exposed, and that tends to sort of relate to being able to express your truth and stand in it. This card to me is a very healing card. And it also, when I think of the aces, it also, depending on how you want to look at it, because sometimes, the aces have a lonely quality to them. So there is also a challenge in this card for me to kind of step out from being the ace all the time, from always just having to do everything myself, and really start to connect. Also to understand that the elements are working within me as well as without me, outside of me. And really use, the elements to help and to heal and connect with those elements as if they are, living beings. So, I have, worked on this path of healing for quite a while. But I have to say, I think this deck performed beautifully for me in this situation. And, Lisa, this was really fantastic. Thank you. And, of course, I'm going to link her video below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this personal video. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye now.